Hey everyone, Dante here with the Raging Geek, and today we're going to take a look at the Gundam Infinity Series from Bandai. This is a series of 5 different Gundam figures. I got these at Target. They were $12.99 a piece, so pretty reasonable. A big selling point with these Gundams is the ability to customize these Gundams, so you can take parts from all these Gundams and you can make various different custom Gundams. If you get all 5 Gundams, you are able to build the classic MSO6F Zaku. So if you take all the get all the separate Gundam action figures, they all include parts similar to the Marvel Legends figures, where if you get that certain wave of toys, you can build a large action figure, depending on which wave it is. The figure varies. So this Gundam line, the Gundam Infinity Series, it showcases the iconic Gundams from each of the different Gundam universes. So for instance, you have the RX-78-2 from the Mobile Suit Gundam universe. This is the iconic classic Gundam. From the Iron-Blooded Orphans, you have the Gundam Barbatos. From the what it says, the Gundam Battle series, you have the Gundam Artemis. From the Mobile Suit Gundam Wing universe, you have the Wing Gundam, the XXG-01W Wing Gundam. And from the Gundam Seed universe, you have the Gundam, what's called Astray. So we're going to take a look at these Gundams. We're going to open them up. Then we're going to put together the Zaku figure. Check that out. I also have a couple of similar size Gundam figures that I did in the past. This is a G-frame figure. And this is an entry-level Bandai model, RX-78-2, that I did, and they're all pretty comparable in size. So I want to compare them. I want to see, are these Gundam Infinity Series, are they just pretty much repackaged products that are already out there, and they're just marketing them in a different way? Also the ability to customize them, that's another marketing aspect, and the being able to put together the various parts that make the Zaku figure. So let's take a look. I'm going to open them up right now. We'll put them together. We'll mix and match a couple of them. We'll compare them to the existing products Bandai already has out there, and we'll see, are these things worth the $12.99? So, all 5 figures, you're looking at about 65 bucks. So let's take a look. Let's open it up. This is Gundam Infinity Series from Bandai. The packaging is pretty crude. I mean, it's just a loose bubble on top of a cardboard, and it just seems to be sealed with some simple, almost like shipping tape. I kind of suspect that a lot of these figures, they might, a lot of the pieces in these figure boxes might grow legs. You know what I'm trying to say? It's funny because I was actually at Walmart the other day for some Marvel Legends figures. So I saw a YouTube video. Someone was doing an unboxing of the new Spider-Man Zombie Hunter figure. So I got all excited about it. I saw the What If episode with Spider-Man and the zombie episode, and it looked really cool. So I go to Walmart, already anticipating not to get this figure. I'm sure there was a pre-order or something that happened, with that figure line, because for the most part, I went to 3 separate Walmarts. Only one had them, and there's a special catch to that, because the Spider-Man Zombie Hunter figure and the Doctor Strange figure, they both were missing the capes, and it was pretty obvious that, you know, the packaging was secured with this type of tape. It was pretty obvious that, you know, either someone purchased them and brought it back, and you know, and just you know, decided they were going to keep the capes on the figures. And you know, I could only imagine some poor mom, you know, buying these figures for their kid, and then, you know, not having the capes. So pretty disappointing to see, and pretty sad. But things to expect with desperate toy hunters out there. But yeah, you know, if you know, when I first saw the packages, you know, my eyes opened up. You know, you get that real, you know, ready to dive in head first look. And then, you know, luckily I didn't just take it to the register and buy it, and I actually took a look at it. I'm like, wait a minute, this guy, he should have a cape, right? And I'm like, maybe the cape is hidden somewhere in the back. No, it's actually, it should be pretty prominent, you know, prominently displayed on Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, and they were just gone. So, you know, it was obvious. You could see the tape was like messed with and stuff, and pretty sad. But back to the Gundam Infinity Series here. So let's take these figures out. And yeah, as I was saying with these figures, they're really, you know, not very securely packed. These Gundam figures, so, you know, I could see lots of them, you know, being, I guess you want to say, vandalized for certain parts, or maybe just the Zaku parts. But, you know, things to look out for. Make sure when you get these, make sure all the pieces are in the box, because you might find yourself bringing it home and being disappointed. So, something to think about. So, opening the first figure, yeah, the mold is somewhat different than the other, than the G-frame and the entry grade model. So yeah, not exactly the same. You know, I want to say the toys are more aligned to the larger Gundam action. The Gundam Infinity Series plastic is more aligned to the larger Gundam series toys that are already out there, but just they're just basically a smaller scale. Let me just get all of these out of the box, and yeah, I guess the whole customizing of, you know, Gundams is probably going to add a new element, you know, to the series. You know, having like hybrid Gundams out there, and also, you know, on the packaging, they're advertising the Gundam Battle app, which is on Android and the Apple Play Store. So something else to look out for. All right, so a lot going on here. Ashtray. I hope I'm saying that right. It's like ashtray. Artemis. You got a Wing Gundam here, the XXXG. You got the classic RX-78-2, and you got the Barbatos. So that's your lineup. So let's see. This is an entry grade model. Putting it next to it, slightly taller. So you got the entry grade, and this is the Infinity Series here. So, you know, probably a half an inch taller, maybe a little less. And let's look at the G-frame. So the G-frame's pretty much the same size as the Infinity Series Gundams, with the entry grade being slightly bigger. Detail-wise, yeah, I'm going to say the entry grade better than the Infinity Series toy. And I want to say the G-frame is probably on par, or maybe a notch up from the Infinity Series. But, you know, overwhelmingly the entry grade is better detailed wise than the Infinity Series, and G-frame probably a notch up, but not too much better. So let's get these comparisons out of here. Come on, fellas, present yourselves accordingly here. And let's start by putting the Zaku together, and I want to see how he sizes up compared to the other Gundams. So got the legs, torso, arms, and head, and this is his gun and this is his axe, and I think that pretty much covers it for that lad. Alright, so we're going to put these guys together. Alright, so I'm going to tell you right now that these molds aren't the best. They don't lock into place. You know, you got to be very careful. The last thing you want to do is snap this, and it's not kind of popping in. So see how the head works out. Head a little better, legs a little disappointing, and they seem to go in. You just really got to make sure they're in there good. You know, like I said, no, just kind of be careful. You don't want to snap anything. But you know, I wish they did a little better about making sure they were in there secure. Yeah, you just really got to make sure they're in there good. Not really a big fan of having to really push parts in, you know, too hard. Like this one, for instance. Yeah, I mean, it like forces you to put pressure on other parts that weren't meant to have pressure put on them, and it's a little nerve-wracking here. So we seem good for now. So you know, I'm really not too impressed with the mold, especially this Zaku figure. I mean, putting these parts together, you know, if you force any of these parts, you're going to be in a, you know, you're not going to be a happy camper. But, so, nothing too elaborate with the Zaku. He's pretty much, you know, he's comparable to the other Gundams in quality, size, flexibility, all that. You probably, looking at it, you probably could customize the Zaku parts with the Gundam parts. So let's see what the customization is about. And just to do a quick articulation test. So let's start from the head down. You know, your head does all the basic motions, turns, nods, up, down. Everything is ball jointed. So as far as the legs at the hips, the arms at the shoulders, and the head, they're all ball jointed. So they will go in a circular motion, and you'll get a wide range of articulation out of those parts. The knees, I want to say the ankles are also ball jointed. The knees and elbows are hinge jointed, so you know, you get the normal forward and back flexibility. No rotating or swivel action from the knees or the elbows. Shoulder plates, you know, they wiggle a bit up and down. The hands are ball jointed too, so they're like a peg in the ball type. They're fastened by like a peg, so you get some type of rotating movement. Ankles move good, so pretty similar to the larger Gundam series out there, except the detail, the size. Let's see what this customization is about. So let's say I wanted to give Ashtray Artemis's arms and shoulders. So let's take off Ashtray's arms here, which they do come off pretty easy. And with the Zaku, I mean, it could just be me. If you watch my other videos, I'm pretty hypersensitive when it comes to these type of things. I don't like to force parts. So I'll sacrifice doing certain customizations in an effort to not break things. We're taking Ashtray totally apart here. This guy's getting the full customization treatment, and you can even take off the torso from the waist, and we're giving him Wing Gundam's legs. We are giving him Wing Gundam's head. We're giving him Artemis's arms, and I'm gonna give him RX-78-2 shield, his saber, and his beam rifle. So check it out. A totally customized Gundam. Hey, if we want to even get more crazy, talk about crazy. This is what I'm talking about. It's like Gundam going scuba diving. So, possibilities are endless. It's pretty cool. Now that I'm actually pulling these things apart, I guess once you get desensitized to it, there's no limit to the possibilities. I'm actually a bit curious how to put on the Ashtray's swords. Don't seem to... Oh, there we go. So it's only one sword you can... one remains sheathed, and the other is for actual use. I get it. Let's get a little crazy. Why not? We could do whatever we want. Let's get crazy. It's like a totally customized samurai build here. So, my initial impressions, got a little nervous in the beginning with the having to take the parts apart, and the whole fundamental concept of this figure line is being able to customize them and pull the parts apart. I think once I got comfortable with doing that, the troubles that I initially saw with this guy kind of melted away, and we could actually give this guy new life like that. But yeah, the initial worries I had with the putting this guy together and the difficulty of the parts, they're actually quite durable. They're made to be taken apart and put back together countless times. I think they came up with an interesting concept, this Gundam Infinity Series. I think $12.99 is pretty reasonable. Maybe $9.99 would have been a little better, but I don't really think you get much for $9.99 anymore. With the exception, I think those, and I think they even might be $10.99 at Target, but the Marvel Legends Retro series, the small ones, and really, I mean, what are you buying with those figures? I mean, you're just buying the art on the card, basically, for retro nostalgia. I mean, the figures themselves are pretty basic, and that's being kind. These figures, pretty fun once you start playing with them. You'll see the appeal. There's definitely a lot of options, especially with the Zaku. I mean, you can mix Gundams with the Zaku and vice versa. If they expand on this line, I think it might do well. Definitely a lot of room for customization possibilities, toy photography, ideas that people didn't think of before. And really, this figure line will make it possible. So Gundam Infinity Series figure line from Bandai. Pretty cool. $12.99 each figure at Target. They're available now on store shelves, so get them while they're out there. When I went there, they basically had the full set, just one set of these Gundam figures, and it seemed like they just put them out on the shelves, and that seems to be like the story these days with Target. They put like one set of everything out and maybe like one additional figure, maybe the more popular one for whatever reason. In this case, it was the full set of Gundam Infinity Series figures, and they had an extra RX-78-2 because, who out there doesn't like RX-78-2? I mean, he's like, he's the creme de la creme. So, check it out. Run to Target. Pick them up. You won't be disappointed. Gundam Infinity Series by Bandai. This is the Raging Geek. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Take care.
Raging Geek. Retro. All things geek. Where geeks can be geeks. Raging Geek. Retro. All things geek. Where geeks can be geeks.